Hello everyone, ElChicoEevee has just released some leaks about the moves and ability Mimikyu will have, so we'll quickly go over those. I'm just going to go over the text files here. I will leave a link in the description to ElChicoEevee's YouTube channel so you guys can go check them out and watch the videos if you want. I want to give them as much credit as they can, so I'm not going to show the videos here, but I will go over the text files and discuss my thoughts on Mimikyu here. So let's get started off. Mimikyu's ability is Disguise. It doesn't say it there, but it will be Disguise because that's the only ability Mimikyu gets. And when the Pokemon is in Disguise form and takes damage from opposing Pokemon, the Pokemon with this ability has its HP decreased by a set percentage of its max HP, nullifies damage for a short amount of time, and changes to busted form. Mimikyu has two different forms, and one of them is to where the head sort of falls to its side. That's the busted form. In Disguise form, its head is straight up. So it's going to start off in Disguise form. When it takes damage, head falls to the side, becomes its busted form. And normally when that happens in the games, the main series games, Mimikyu loses like 1/8 of its health, so maybe they'll copy that into Mimikyu and Pokemon Unite where it loses 1/8, or it might be a 1/16. I don't know, it loses 1/8 or 1/16 of its health in the main series games. Also, it will nullify damage for a short period of time, so that's pretty strong. Maybe Mimikyu won't be able to attack during that time, because I don't know. It depends on how long the nullification is. If it's like a second, then it might be fine. But if it's like 5 seconds or just can't take damage, that might be a little too good. And this is the most interesting part I actually find about Mimikyu. The Pokemon who destroys its Disguise will actually get a revenge mark applied to them that increases damage done to them. And it looks like Mimikyu's movement speed will be increased when it's near that revenge mark player. So this makes it similar to Azumarill in a way, to where it wants to sort of fight in a 1v1 against a target. Now Mimikyu will actually have a target marked, so that's pretty interesting. And then it has the movement speed to chase them down, and increased damage to actually beat them. If the Pokemon remains in its busted form for a set amount of time, it returns to Disguise form. That makes sense, so it will gain its ability back and just move its head back up. Maybe that's like a 30-second to like a minute time frame. And if the Pokemon knocks out an opposing Pokemon, the time it takes to return back to Disguise form is decreased. So I guess if you successfully avenge your fallen head, you get your head back, which is, I think that's a funny thing there. So the boosted attack is every third attack, and it strikes twice within an area. The next basic attack after this move comes a boosted attack. Wait, so its boosted attack gives it another boosted attack, I guess. Unless that's a typo. I don't know. That feels like it might be a typo. Astonish has the user shout in a short area in front of it. Okay, so that sounds sort of just like Sableye Astonish. Nothing too special. Maybe a different range, maybe a different angle of attack. Not bad. Scratch has the user charge in a designated direction, so Scratch is actually going to be a dash, it looks like, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it hits and decreasing their movement speed. Okay, so once again, this will allow Mimikyu to chase down enemies. For a short period of time after the user charges, if this move is used again, the user attacks in front of itself, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it hits. So let me read that again. For a short amount of time, if this move is used again, so it actually might have like 2 charges, similar to Zora Fury Swipes, potentially. At that time, additional damage is dealt based on the percentage of HP the opposing Pokemon has lost. Another trend I saw with Mimikyu is it has a lot of percent health damage to opposing Pokemon. And I guess that's sort of make up for its percent it will lose if its Disguise form breaks. That's going to be the theory I go with for why it's like that. Those sound like the level 1 and 3 moves. And then we have Play Rough down here, which I want to guess will be a level 5 move because they like to normally do 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 for attacks. I'm going to say this is a level 5 move. So what Play Rough does is it has the user jump forward, move around opposing Pokemon it hits. Maybe like Pikachu Volt Tackle, I guess. Dealing damage multiple times and decreasing their movement speed for a short time. So it's going to be sort of like maybe a Zoomerl Play Rough or Pikachu Volt Tackle, except it slows them instead of stuns them. After the attack is finished, and Mimikyu will be able to jump in any designated direction. So it won't be fully like Pikachu Volt Tackle to where like you go back to where you started. It will be more like Blaze Kick Cinderace, to where you can pick where you jump to. And the upgrade increases the user's movement speed. Okay, so it's just a movement speed move, and it's a way to catch your enemies. Pretty simple. Shadow Sneak is the move we saw in the trailer, and this is the next move to talk about. And I believe it will mark an enemy. Yeah, it marks an enemy. And if the shadow passes through a wall, it actually extends even further. Wow. The user deals damage to the opposing Pokemon marked as a shadow target. Additional damage is done if the opposing Pokemon has lost HP. So once again, that percent HP damage coming back in. If the move is used again, the user moves to an opposing Pokemon marked as a shadow target. So yes, this move is like a teleport to an opposing Pokemon and it deals damage and extends the duration of that Pokemon shadow mark. Oh, okay, so it actually makes the shadow mark last longer, but I guess the move goes on cooldown. But since the move lasts longer, you can maybe teleport again to that same target shortly after. Interesting. If the user knocks out an opposing Pokemon marked as a shadow target, this move's cooldown resets and recovers health. Very good. Upgrade, reduce this move's cooldown. Sounds like a pretty strong move. Shadow Claw is up next. I'm going to assume Shadow Claw and Trick Room are the level 7 moves. So Shadow Claw has the user slash in front of it, which is Sharp Claws, dealing damage to opposing Pokemon it hits, decreasing the movement speed, and restoring the user's HP. So once again, another healing move, just like Shadow Sneak. Except this one just heals when it does damage. And decreases movement speed so then it can catch up to Pokemon. Whenever the user hits opposing Pokemon with a basic attack, this move's cooldown is reduced. And the number of times the user attacks with this move is used next increases maximum 4 times. So maybe this is like Lapras Water Pulse, to where if you use it once, you gain a second charge, and then you gain another charge with each Pokemon you hit. And also this reduces the move's cooldown. Sounds pretty strong. The movement speed decreases caused by this move can stack. So it might be like a 5% decrease the first time, and then if you hit all 4 times, goes up to like a 20%. I don't know, this move could be very, very good. Like, to me at the moment, Shadow Sneak Shadow Claw sounds really strong. Play Rough didn't sound like too much, but I can easily be wrong about what sounds good or not. And the upgrade is at the end of the attack, additional damage is dealt based on the percentage. So once again, that percent damage done to enemies. So I'm thinking Shadow Sneak Shadow Claw right now for moves, but we'll read Trick Room. And I think Trick Room's probably the most unique move out of all of these. Shadow Sneak's pretty unique, but Trick Room sounds very fun too. Has the user create a bizarre area around itself if the movement speed decrease is applied to the user while it is within the area. That effect is converted to a movement speed increase. So, pretty fun. Instead of being slowed down, you get sped up if you're hit with movement speed decrease, which there is a lot, but it doesn't prevent stuns. So that might make it worse. If it prevented stuns and actually gave you a movement speed increase when being stunned, I feel like that would be much, much stronger. Maybe too strong. And the user takes reduced damage from Pokemon outside the area. This is also going to be a weird move, because if the area is stationary, I don't know if it's stationary or not, but if it is stationary, Mimikyu wants to be close to things to hit them, so it's not really going to want to leave the area for this move. I feel like this move might not be the most intuitive thing if it's placed down like a Ninetales Aurora Veil and it's just like in one area. Because Mimikyu's a close range character, I believe. So if, you're stuck in one area as a close range character, like you want to chase things down as Mimikyu. So I don't know if it'll work well. Obviously, I'm not seeing the video, so I don't know that for a fact, but I'm going to go with that theory right now, because that's what I can assume. Also, while in the area, the user can use this move again to move a set distance forward. Okay, so you can move with the move. It's just you have to be in the area, and then you can do a little dash forward to move the area with you, so then you can chase things down. But I still feel like it could easily be outranged. Like, Mimikyu right now sounds like a character that can be outranged very easily. And I feel like Shadow Sneak, Shadow Claw is still probably the strongest combo here. Because Shadow Sneak will get you in on your target, and then you could teleport to them, and then Shadow Claw to actually deal the damage and finish them off. That's what I think will be probably the strongest moves to go with here, just from the description. But let's go read the Unite move now. As the user leap at a opposing Pokemon and traps it in its rag. Okay, so it will be a single target move. Dealing damage over time and granting the user a shield. Okay, this is a nice effect. The trapped Pokemon actually won't be affected by other Pokemon's moves except Mimikyu. That's good. So it's not another Slowbro special, because they're immune. You still don't get to play the game, but it's closer to like Zarina, to where it like takes the Pokemon out of the fight, sort of. But it also takes you out of the fight. If the user loses its shield or a set amount of time passes, the user stops attacking and jumps in a designated direction. So once again, you can pick where you jump from and where you jump to. And also can free the opposing Pokemon if you just don't beat them in time. And apparently there's like a Shadow Claw effect, which increases the number of attacks used, which is okay. And then Disguise effect, nullifying damage for a set amount of time. I guess those are additional effects on the Unite move. And I also like the name Play With Me with the ... That's a good one. I like the names they come up with here. But yeah, that's a little description of Mimikyu. Like I said, ElChicoEevee's link to the videos for these moves will be in the description. And the links will bring you to their channel, so you guys can go watch it if you want. I want them to get as many views because it's very thankful for the information they provide us, and they, deserve as many views. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. So thank you and goodbye.